Again, welcome to this course, and in this lecture, we're going to cover Logic Pro's interface. All right, this is basically we're going to go to a tour of the software. I'm gonna make it real quick, simple, and easy for you to understand. And so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, as you can see, everything is seeming to be open and all over the place. This is usually how it looks when you first get started, in a new project, especially from a template. Okay, don't get overwhelmed, even though it looks overwhelming. All Logic is trying to do is show you that you have a lot of different options that you can choose from here. I don't know why really they start off like this, but regardless, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and dim down some of this stuff so you can actually get started creating music. First off, let's talk about what everything is though. Now, if you look over here at the top of the screen here, there are some buttons. All right. Each button is something that's going to open a window. It controls a window. All right. So if you look right here and just hover over it, something will pop up telling you what that button does. Let's talk about the first button. The first button is your library. This is where all your sounds are. This is where the library is, as you can see here. If you click it off, it's going to turn light gray. You click on it, it's going to turn dark gray. That's how you know whether or not something is open or not. Okay. So this is where all your sounds are. All right. You can easily go and get your sounds by just navigating up and down within it, or you can come over here and type whatever sound you want in a search, say a bass instrument. Logic's going to pull up everything for you, all the bass instruments within the software program. All right. So that's your library. That's where your sounds are. And if you click off of that, as you can see, it becomes a little bit more manageable. Now, the second thing we're going to talk about is this inspector tool. You see this eye right here. Now, what is the inspector tool? Well, let's take a look at it. This is the inspector. Basically, whatever track you have selected, you can also come over here and affect the volume. You can affect the panning, which is like where the signal is going to go left or right. You can also add your effects, your EQs, and you can also add more sounds and things of that nature. Okay. That's what the inspector is for. It helps you there. And you also can see right here that you have the stereo output bus right here as well. So you can affect the total volume or overall volume of all your tracks as well right here. Just a quick way to help, keep things going as far as workflow wise. All right. So you can click off of that and, oh, there you go. Things keep on getting a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and skip these two for a second and show you this window right here. This is called your drummer. Okay. And he is accessed in the editor. Okay. Now the editor is the scissors. It's real simple. Anytime you see the scissors, boom, that's your editors. Now, the drummer is usually in a pre-made preset. So if you have a preset track selected here, your drummer is going to pop up when you push the scissors. And if you're in a regular instrument track that doesn't have anything already in it, when you push the scissors, something else is going to pop up. As you can see, it's different. You have something called a piano roll, a score, and a step editor. All right. Now in this course, we're going to cover more so the piano roll. This is where you can actually create MIDI notes. This is where you can edit your MIDI notes. More on MIDI in a later lecture. Okay. So if we jump back over here, again, hovering over here, this is your toolbar. You click that, something's going to drop down here, and this is where you can actually edit within the workspace window. By the way, this is your workspace. This is where all the magic happens. This is where you're going to see your audio files. This is where you're going to see your MIDI files. This is where you're going to see the different tracks that you have. This is where you can navigate and see where you are within the track. All right. Let's cover this guy right here. This is the quick help. All right. It's a question mark. Basically, every time that's selected, you can, if you hover over something, it's going to give you the definition of what it is. As you can see, it's hovered over the workspace. Gives you a quick little definition. Real good feature for you just getting started in the program. And even actually, if you already have gotten started in the program, it's going to really help you to know what everything is for real. Okay. So let's continue on here. This is the next step here is the smart controls. If you click that, you can see here some knobs pull up here. Now these different knobs, the cool thing about it is they can actually be controlled through an external MIDI device, all right? Now, you can also control them manually, okay, depending on if you have that selected, or you can come over here and get into controlling a MIDI device or making a MIDI device can be controlled through those knobs as well. Now, we're not going to go too much in depth in that aspect in this course, as again, this is an introductory course, but I still wanted to introduce you to all of the different features of the interface, okay? We're going to keep on going here. This button right here is your mixer. This is where you can do some in-depth mixes and you can see all your tracks graphically and affect the levels and the panning and the, add effects and all these cool things right here. This is where the magic happens as well. We already covered the editor, so we're not going to cover that again. This is your transportation bar. We can go left or right and all that. We're going to cover that more in detail in the next lecture. And this is your display window. This is where you can see where you are in the track. You know what I'm saying? 29 seconds. Okay, there we go. Now, over here, we start getting into, let's say, talk about loops. Like if you want to build a beat, usually your beats are built out of loops. And so if you select that, this is going to put your track into loop mode. Okay. This is a tuner. So if you have a live instrument, you can tune it. This is solo mode. Okay. And then right here, this is going to give you a count in on the metronome. Now, I know I'm really rushing through a lot of this stuff kind of, but, please know if you have any questions about it, you can ask me and I'll answer them for you. Okay. So please let me know in the discussions area. So let's go ahead and finish this out here with these last 4 tabs or buttons. This guy right here is going to show you a list. It's a list editor. And this is where for you detail oriented people, if you pay attention to details, you want to see exactly where you are, all right, based on certain things. You can say, all right, this is exactly where it is, and takes notes and everything like that. You have your markers, you have your tempo. Sometimes you can do tempo changes in the program. I mean, this software program really is very, 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 very in depth. I mean, you can even do key changes in this software program, of which we're not going to really touch this too much in the software in this particular course at all. It's really an advanced feature, but I want to let you know you have access to it. All right, this is where you can take notes. And this is great for if you're working with other creators and collaborators, because you can take notes about your session, send the session over, and they can open up the notes and see it, and edit the notes and send it back, vice versa. Okay. Now, as you can see, this right here, this is like a loop thing. This is your Apple Loops. There are thousands and thousands and thousands, maybe not thousands and thousands and thousands, but there are so many sounds and preset and pre-made samples and loops that you can use free of charge, royalty free, meaning you don't have to pay anybody on the back end. Apple has already taken care of that for you. So you can use this in your music and you can get paid after you sell it. And it's a great resource. We're going to cover that more later in the course as well. And this last but not least is the browser. This is where you can download import audio or whatever. And it shows you all your files in your computer as well. So if you want to find a song and bring it in here, this is the place to do it, okay? In the next lecture, we're going to cover navigation and logic. That's where we're going to see how to get from point A to point B in what we call the workspace. Again, this is the place where all the magic happens. If you have questions, hit me up. I'm so thankful that you're here. Thanks.